So after having a good knowledge on the working of the diode, which is a single PN junction, we will now try to connect two PN junctions today, and which make a different type of you can say a component that is called as a transistor. So we'll discuss today in the today's class about the transistors. So this transistor is nothing but a three-terminal device, and it is definitely consisting of the semiconductor. So we sometimes call this a three-terminal semiconductor device that regulates currents and the voltage flow, and also act as a switch or gate for the signals. So we will see all these things, that how these things will occur inside a transistor. Now if we look here, what we have done till that, we have a diode. We have seen a diode, and if I draw a simple PN junction, it is like this. So we know that whenever we have a PN junction, we have a depletion region between these two. We have done this concept, we have already studied it. But now what we are trying to do, we are trying to sandwich this N with the P-type semiconductors over here. For example, I'm going to connect one more semiconductor. If this is P on the left side, definitely on the right side, we will again have the P. Or in the other case, we are going to have, for example, if we have here N, then definitely over here in between these two ends, we are going to have one P. So there are two types of, you can say, the transistors could be, that is PNP or NPN. Now what is going to happen? We have already studied that whenever there is a PN type semiconductor, a depletion region will be formed over here. So we'll have a depletion region over here also. And also over here, if you look, there is N and P. So definitely over here also we'll get this depletion region. So two depletion regions, or can I say two junction will be there. So can I also call it as a two junction device? It is two junction device. First thing. Second, if I see here, I have connected these two with two terminals, but this N is left. If I connect N with also one terminal, can I count the number of terminals? It is 1, 2, and 3. So can I say this type of component, or the component which we have achieved with the combination of these semiconductors, it is a three-terminal device. We are going to have three terminals over here. Now, what are these three terminals? Now, these three terminals are named as emitter, base, and collector. Now, there is a difference between all these three. Why we call it, for example, if I say this is my emitter, in between these two, which is sandwiched terminal, is called as the base, and the right side one is the collector. Now, there is a difference between these three. One, emitter is nothing but a moderate size and is heavily doped. Now, the difference is, we said that it is heavily doped. So now you all can recall those things. What is doping? It is nothing but adding of the impurity. But when we are saying heavily doping, it means definitely we are having here a doping greater than 1 is to 10 is to the power 7. So when we have the doping greater than this, definitely we will call it as a heavily doped. Second, this heavily doped is why we are doing this heavily doping. We will see later that this emitter, as the name is, it is going to emit something. So in the case of N-type semiconductor, it is going to emit the electrons. And in the case of P-type, it is going to emit the holes. So that's why the name is emitter. Higher the doping, higher will be the carriers, or higher will be the majority carriers. In the case of N-type, we will have more electrons. In the case of P-type, we will have more holes. It means more electrons and holes will be emitted by this emitter terminal. That's why this is called as emitter. This part is called as emitter, right? So one thing we have seen, it is of moderate size. You can see here it is of moderate size, and second, it is heavily doped, as its main function is to supply the number of the majority carriers. Now, second one is, as it emits electron, that's why we have called it, or we have named it as emitter. Simple. Now look at this base. This is thin and lightly doped. Why we are doing it thin and lightly doped? Although in my diagram you can see here it is very it is comparable to the width is comparable to that of the emitter, but look at these two actual diagrams. In this you can see, if this is my base, which is sandwiched part, it is very small. What is the reason behind it? I will give you just a brief idea. As you can see here, that we have on the, if I take the case of NPN, this is N, this is P, and this is N. This is my depletion region. Now look here, as I said, this emitter is capable of giving the majority carriers. In the N-type, we have majority carriers electrons. So definitely these electrons will be moved into this part. how they will be moved, we will see. Although we got an idea that we can make them move by making this to forward biased, or by making this junction forward biased. So we'll see that the brief in the detail. I'm just telling you in brief. Now in the case of p-type, we have majority carriers as holes. So whenever there is an electron and a hole, definitely what is going to happen? What is going to happen when we have electrons and holes? Anyone? Yeah, very right. So we will have recombination over here. So due to this recombination, some of the electrons which are coming from the n side will be vanished because of the recombination with the holes. So higher will be the doping over here. If I talk about only this base region, higher the doping, जितनी ज़्यादा आप डोपिंग करेंगे डेफिनेटली उतनी ज़्यादा आपके पास क्या रहेगी रिकॉम्बिनेशंस, बिकॉज मेजॉरिटी कैरियर्स जो कि पी साइड के हैं वो इंक्रीज कर जाएंगे. सो वी डोंट वांट आर इलेक्ट्रॉन्स टू बी vanished over here because we want these electrons to reach to this side. We want it to be reached to this side, and this is called as the third part, that is the collector. And that's the reason we always make this base as lightly doped, because lesser the doping, lesser will be the carriers, holes will be less, and recombinations will be less. Although we can't reduce it, reduce it to zero, but we can make it small. Second, the width is also small. By reducing the width, what will happen? Definitely the carriers will be reduced. So due to these two reasons, we make this base region to be thin and lightly doped, right? These two will be here. And its main function is to pass the majority carriers from emitter to the collector. Yes, only reason is कि इसको pass करना है यहाँ से. Third one is, which I am talking here about, this collector part. Now as the name is collector, it means it is going to collect the carriers. Emitter is emitting. Emitter will emit, base will only pass these carriers, and the collector is going to collect these carriers. So what I'm going to here, that we are going to have here the moderate doping. Why we want moderate doping? Why we don't have high doping? Because once we have high doping, the carrier concentration in the electrons will be high, and in the n-type we have this electrons over here. It means the carrier concentration of electrons will be high. So once we have the electrons in the p side, it will be difficult for these electrons to reach to the collector if we have high doping. What is the reason behind that? Because we have seen there is diffusion. Diffusion means the movement of the electrons from higher concentration to the lower concentration, that is called as diffusion. So once we have made the collector to be very high in the concentration, definitely it will be difficult for the electrons which are coming from the emitter right now, which are in the base. So it will be difficult for them to reach to the collector because of high doping. So what we make here moderate doping. Although we can have low doping also, but we still have here the moderate doping. Then second is, as they are going to collect the electrons, the size of this collector is also large. So you can see here it is bit larger in size than emitter and base. So what is the reason of the increase in size? As they are going to collect it, so definitely whenever there will be the collection of the electrons or the collection of the holes, there will be some dissipation of the energy, or you can say the heat will be produced. To dissipate that heat, to overcome that heat, otherwise ये तो डैमेज हो जाएगा हीट के कारण. आपने देखा था ऑलरेडी इन द डायोड्स ऑल्सो वी हैव द माइनॉरिटी कैरियर्स, कि जितनी ज़्यादा हीट प्रोड्यूस होगी उतने ज़्यादा आपके बॉन्ड्स ब्रेक करते रहते हैं. सो हमें उन माइनॉरिटी कैरियर्स को जो है वो ओवरकम करना है. सो व्हाट वी वांट दिस हीट टू बी डेसिपेटेड. सो वी हैव दिस कलेक्टर रीजन अ बिट लार्जर इन साइज in comparison to your emitter. Definitely base is very small in width, but if we compare with the emitter, these two are different. So now over here one question comes, that can we replace our emitter with a collector, or it is up to us? Because definitely if you look here in this diagram, you will find that n on the both sides we have n, and in between we have p. So can I name this as collector and this as emitter? No, it is not possible. The reason is because we have seen now that emitter is highly doped, whereas collector is lightly doped. Second, the width of the collector is large, whereas width of the emitter is small. And due to these reasons, we can't interchange our emitter and the collector. So it is very important for you to understand. Is it clear? So this is a very brief idea of how a transistor is constructed. We have done a detailed discussion on the diodes. It means now you won't find any difficulty in studying these transistors, because the transistor, if you look here, if I divide my transistor from here, if I divide this, or just for the imagination, if we divide it, can I say that over here I have a diode where this is N, this is P, And if I look at the other side, here I am having P and here I am having N. So it is one more diode. So what we are going to have, we are just making two diodes connected back to back. It means if it is N, this is P, the other will be P and N. So these two are diodes which are connected, and we have done a detailed discussion. We have understood everything about the diode, about the junction. So now we won't find any difficulty, because whatever that had happened over there with those junction in the forward and reverse bias, same thing will happen with these junction also over here. Right. So now let's start these things one by one. Next, I want to discuss about the symbols. Now, if we look at the symbol of a transistor, the transistor symbol is like this, where we have these three terminals, C for the collector, E for the emitter, and B for the base. And as I said, there are two types of semiconductors. One is NPN and another is PNP. In the NPN, we have electrons, as I have discussed here. This is N, this is P, and this is again N. So electrons are going from emitter to the collector. So the direction of the electrons is from emitter, and they are going outward, right? Emitter is emitting. It means the direction of the current will be opposite to the direction of the electrons. Or can I say the direction of the current is towards the emitter terminal? So if I look at this NPN transistor, right, if I make this diagram a bit larger for you, now look here. In this you can see here that this is my NPN transistor, where the emitter terminal is having a current, or you can say the emitter is receiving the current I. So this arrow direction is towards this emitter terminal because of this current I over here. As I explained, the electrons are going from emitter to the collector. Definitely the direction of the current will be opposite. So this arrow mark over here is showing me the direction of the current. Now if I compare it with the PNP, rest of the things are same. Collector, base, and emitter, three terminals are there. But if I look at this current direction, it is opposite over here. Why it is opposite? Because in the case of PNP transistor, if I simply make this PNP, we are having holes over here. So the holes will move from your emitter towards the collector. So definitely when holes are moving from emitter to collector, the direction of the current will be the same as that of the holes. We have studied that. It means this time the emitter is giving the current, or the direction of the current is from emitter to collector. So can I say this is my emitter? So my direction will be away from the emitter. So over here this direction shows me that this is my PNP transistor, whereas this direction shows me that it is my NPN transistor. And rest of the things will be same. It is a 3-terminal device. In both cases we will see it. Is it clear? Now in the practical transistors, if you see, if I don't have a diagram over here, but if I draw a very practical transistor, or we will find three legs in that transistor and a notch over here. This notch is important over there because this notch is near to the emitter terminal. It means we can directly say that this is my emitter, this is collector, and in between definitely there will be base. But it is not always right. In few of the transistors, you will see that this notch is there. It will simply show that it is emitter, but we are not sure about the other two legs. So over there, it could be my base or collector, and the other could be my the base of the collector. So how we will find it? We will see it later. I will explain you that how, if we have a transistor and we don't know that which is my emitter, which is base, and which is collector. So if we don't have, for example, a notch over here. For example, a person have made a transistor like this, and then how we will find that which terminal or which leg is my emitter, base, and collector. So I will discuss that. And before that, I want to discuss the transistor biasings and want to give you a brief idea about the resistances having at the emitter, base, and the base collector terminals. So this is pending. I will tell you that if we have this type of transistors, how we will find these three terminals, right? So next I want to discuss about the transistor biasings, right? So what is the transistor biasing? You have studied biasings are nothing but the DC signals that we will provide to any of the semiconductor for its operation. We have seen that if we have a silicon diode, then definitely we want our biasing signal to be greater than 0.7 volts, and in the case of germanium we want it to be greater than 0.3 volts. So what is the reason behind that? Because we want to overcome the potential barrier. So definitely over here also, in the case of your transistors, as we have seen that there are two junctions over here. If I draw here, this is my base Just ignore these things. I might have drawn the widths may be wrong because in this diagram it seems that my emitter is a bit larger, but just ignore all these things. I just want to discuss here only about these junctions. So this is my emitter, this is my collector, and I have base. Let us assume that it is NPN type. So what is going to happen in the NPN? If you look at this diagram, I will have here three terminals: emitter, base, and collector. Now it is up to me that I can connect this emitter base over here. I can connect it to be forward bias. Forward bias means N will be connected to negative and P will be connected to positive. Second, I may have connect here this one as reverse bias. So reverse bias simply means I'm going to connect N with the positive and P with the negative. Right. Similarly, on the other side, if I see, this is my base and this is my collector. Now I can connect P with the positive and N with the negative, which is simply the forward bias case. Or in the second scenario, I can connect P with the negative and N with the positive, which is my reverse bias case. So look here, with these four possibilities, or with these two reverse bias and forward bias at the emitter base, and this forward and reverse bias at the base collector, I am going to have four possibilities over here. What are those possibilities? If I write here, I can have my, if I write here emitter base junction, and it is my base collector. Why I am writing here emitter base junction? Because whenever I'm going to apply a biasing over here, for example, if I apply forward biasing over here, in which I'm going to connect N with the positive and P with the negative, what is going to happen? Look here, as I connect this with negative and this base with positive, just recall the things that we have studied in the diode. Whenever we have forward biasing, what happens to this width? This width decreases. But if I take the other case in which I'm going to reverse bias it, for example, if I take this case where I'm going to reverse bias my base and collector, so definitely this negative and this positive will make this base collector reverse bias, and what is going to happen? This width will increase. We have seen it is in the reverse bias, the width increases, and I have explained there with the formula also. That was, anybody remember that? So it was simply the 2 epsilon s by q under root of 1 by na plus 1 by nd into v naught. So you just go back to that video and you can see there the formula. So I'm moving further. So in that case, we will find that this width will change with respect to this biasing. So now this width is going to affect a lot of things. If we see here that this width, and we have studied this width is also inversely proportional to under root of the doping. It means whenever we have high doping, definitely in that scenario the width will be small. So if I see here, emitter is more doped or it is highly doped in comparison to the base, definitely the width, if this is my center, the width will be small in the case of emitter and it will be large in the case of base. It will be more penetrated inside the base. Whereas if I see here in the case of base and collector also if this is my center, for example, then it will be more inside the base, because again the collector is moderately doped, or you can say it is its doping is high in comparison to the base. So definitely in both the sides the width will be penetrated more inside the base, and that will help us, because more the penetration of the width will be there, the lesser will be the area left in between. कम एरिया बचेगा, जितना कम एरिया हमारे पास बेस में बचेगा उतनी कम हमारी रिकॉम्बिनेशंस होंगे. So this is also advantage for us. Is it clear? So I have just discussed four types of biasings that could be there in the case of your transistor. Now depending upon these four types, I'm going to have different operations, or I'm going to discuss the different operations. So if I see here, if I say that, okay, I have written here, okay, I will use this side. I have here a emitter base junction and other is the base collector junction. In some of the books you will find as it as JE and JC. That is simply emitter and the collector junction. As base is common to both, we don't discuss that. So in this scenario, we are going to see that how my transistor is going to operate when we have different biasings to these junctions. So let us first take the scenario where both the junctions are reverse biased. So what is going to happen when both the junctions are reverse biased? If we see here, if I make a different diagram, for example, just to make you understand all these things. This is my emitter, my base, this collector. So I'm going to have here depletion regions like this. This is emitter, this is base, and this is collector. Now let us assume this be NPN. It will be easy for us to discuss NPN because we have electrons over there. So as I said, it will be both reverse bias. So I will have reverse biasing over here. Due to this reverse biasing, what is going to happen? Emitter is going to have negative. Emitter is going to have positive, and P is going to have negative. Over here again N is there, so it is going to have positive and other will be negative. Now we will just look at these two things, that is positive and this collector is also positive. Due to the reverse biasing, what is going to happen? This width will increase. Will there be any flow of current from the emitter to the base? No, definitely there will be no, only the minute carriers will flow. But we won't consider here the minute carriers because their current is very small. That's why they are sometimes called as the leakage currents. Whereas if we look at this other junction in the P and N scenario, as these are also reverse biased, so this width will also increase and there will be no flow of the current. It means, can I say, if both the junctions in a transistor are reverse biased, there will be no flow of the current, and we will name it as the cutoff region. Cutoff region. And this cutoff region will have very small current in the practical scenarios, and that small current is due to the leakage current. Whereas if I talk about the ideal case, I will say there will be no flow of current in it, or the current is zero, and I can replace, or I can say that if it is acting as a switch, then in this mode it will act as an open circuit or open switch, open circuit switch, right? Or it is in the simply the off state. So this is one part. It means whenever we want a transistor to act as a switch, because we use in the practical circuits as transistor as a switch, so what we do, we make both the junctions reverse biased. Due to that, no current will flow through it and it will act as open circuit. Second, let's take the example of both forward bias. The second case, what we are doing here, we are forward biasing both my junctions. So when I will do the forward biasing, what will happen? Here N will be connected with the negative, P with the positive, and again over negative and positive. So this will be the case of my forward bias. Due to the forward biasing of emitter and the base, can I say now my width will decrease, and over here also my width will decrease because of the forward biasing. Due to that, what is going to happen? This N-type semiconductor, which is giving me the electrons, or the majority carries over the electrons. Now if I increase this forward biasing, definitely a point will come when the electrons will cross this junction and they will recombine with the holes of the P. For example, I will take here that 100 electrons are going from here. I will assume that 5 electrons will combine with the holes and I will be left with only 95 electrons. Now what about this 95? Due to the forward biasing of this junction, इस जंक्शन की फॉरवर्ड बाइसिंग के कारण क्या होगा? अब ये इलेक्ट्रॉन्स जो है वो आगे यहाँ पे कलेक्टर में पहुंच जाएंगे. वी हैव ऑलरेडी लॉट ऑफ इलेक्ट्रॉन्स ऑलरेडी एट द कलेक्टर, बट स्टिल as the concentration has increased in the p type to be very large, we will see that this diffusion will be there, and as the width has reduced to very small or almost zero, by increasing this forward biasing over here, we can make these electrons to reach at the collector junction and we will have here a collector current. Or can I say that there will be conduction when both the junctions are forward biased? Electrons are going from here to the collector and they will be combined with the holes provided by this over here we have negative, right? So what is going to happen? The electrons will fall here, and due to the diffusion there will be flow of the electrons from the base to the collector. All the electrons will reach here, right? Now what is going to happen? Due to this, the current will flow. There will be a closed path. Now the current will flow inside it, and can I say that this is the region, or you can say the maximum current will flow. After that, once the width has reduced to zero, there will be no flow of the current, no increase in the flow of the current. So we will say that this region is called as the saturation region. Just a minute. Yes. So we will have here, just a minute, it is not working. Yes, now it is working. So we will call it as a saturation region. Now, due to this saturation region, if I consider an ideal transistor, can I say that it is nothing but equal to a short circuit? So this is the scenario where my switch is closed and it is my short circuit switch, or simply in the on state. So it means we can make our transistor to operate as a switch. Simply what we have to do, if we make both the junctions reverse bias, it will be off state, and if we make both forward bias, it will be on state. Now let's take the third scenario where we are going to make one forward biased and the other reverse biased. So let us first make your emitter base junction as forward bias. So we'll make this forward bias and the other one as reverse bias. Right. So this is what is an important one. So here my transistor is going to act as an amplifier. So I made this diagram. So look here in this, let's take first NPN. So N is connected with the negative over here and P is connected with the positive. Similarly, the second one, or the base collector junction, or simply the collector junction, is reverse biased. So this N must be connected to the positive and P to the negative. So what is going to happen here? Due to the forward biasing at the emitter base junction, can I say this depletion width will reduce or it will be overcome? Due to the overcoming of this, what is going to happen? All the electrons from the N side, which are present over here, will reach to the P junction, P part, or the P type semiconductor, where some holes will be there and they will recombine and some current will flow. For example, only 5 electrons will be recombined, due to that some current will flow, right? This is the direction of the electrons. So definitely the direction of the current will be opposite to it. Then I will say, as this is NPN, the direction of the electrons will be this one. So definitely the opposite will be the direction of the current. So this is, you can see IE is opposite to the direction of the electrons. Now what is going to happen? This is the forward biasing part, where you have seen that this emitter base is forward biased. What about this second part? If I make this diagram again larger, so you will see here, so you will see in the second part what is going to happen. This will be the reverse biasing case. So definitely this width will increase. This width will increase. Now due to the increase in the width, what is going to happen? There will be high resistance. Means when we have these electrons from the from the N side reached to the base or to the P, where some recombinations had happened and 5 electrons we have assumed that has recombined, but still 95 electrons are there in this base region. So due to the high width over here, due to the reverse biasing of this junction, these electrons will find it difficult to reach to the other end. But if you look here, what are these electrons? These are minority carriers of the P. ये P के क्या हैं? Minority carriers हैं. It means they will not face any difficulty, because we said in the reverse bias, minority carriers can flow without any barriers, without any obstruction. It means although electrons जो थे वो N side के थे, but वो कहाँ पहुंच गए? अब P में पहुंच गए हैं. P में वो क्या है? माइनॉरिटी कैरियर्स हैं. इलेक्ट्रॉन्स आर माइनॉरिटी कैरियर्स ओवर हेयर इन द P साइड. इट मीन्स ड्यू टू द रिवर्स बाइसिंग ऑफ दिस and collector junction, these electrons will reach to the collector part. ये कहाँ पहुंच जाएंगे? कलेक्टर पार्ट में पहुंच जाएंगे, and due to that a current will be generated, that is IC current, because you can see here we have a positive terminal over here. The holes will be supplied from this side and the electrons are here, which combine with these holes, and the recombination will occur and collector current will flow. It means in the forward bias we have a very small resistance, which we have seen here in the emitter junction. This is my emitter junction. We have seen very small resistance because of the forward biasing. मैं यहाँ लिख देता हूँ small resistance, whereas in the case of reverse bias we have very large resistance. And if you see here that it is simply the transfer of the resistance from small to large, and that's why the transfer of this resistance gives the name transistor. If you see here, this is my transistance, और ट्रांजिस्टेंस की जगह मैं ट्रांजिस्टर लिखता हूँ, ज़्यादा इजी हो जाएगा मुझे अपना पूरा वर्ड बनाना. I remove this part. So if I say here it is resistor, transfer of resistor, although it is resistance, but if I write here resistor, so look here, I will take TRAN from the transfer and SISTOR from this, and if I combine it, can I get the word transistor? So this transistor, the name comes for this operation, that is the forward bias of your emitter junction and the reverse bias of your collector junction. Due to that, we have seen that due to the forward biasing, we have small resistance at the emitter junction, but due to the reverse biasing, we have seen large resistance at the collector junction, or simply the base collector junction, and this will act as an amplifier. So we will see that due to this transfer of this resistance, we will get an amplification, or this will act as simply an amplifier. How it is going to act as an amplifier, I will discuss it in the next lecture. I will give you a video. I will share a video how this video lecture of that, so how this transistor can act as an amplifier. But for this today's lecture, just remember that whenever we have a transfer of resistance from small to large, definitely when small resistance will be there, if I apply any voltage over here, there will be some flow of the current. If I assume this resistance to be small, capital R or R1, then definitely if I see the current that will flow through it will be equal to voltage divided by the resistance R1. This current will flow up to the collector or up to this junction. As we have seen here, we have IE and here we have IC, where IE and IC are almost equal because only a very small amount of IB current is flown due to these 5 electrons. If it is, for example, I assume here to be 1000 electrons, only 5 electrons has recombined. So it means still we have 995 electrons reaching to the collector junction. So it means due to that the collector current will be there. So I assume here that this is the same current I. This current I will flow to this junction, and when it will be multiplied with a very large resistance, if I say it is 100 R in comparison to the small resistance, I assume it equal to 100 R. Definitely the voltage that I will get at the output will be equal to, what is that, current into resistance into 100 of R. So it will come out to be around 100 times of IR. So you will see here at the input we have voltage equal to I into R. Okay, I will write here R1. I've used this R1. So I into R1. But at the output, what I got, it is 100 times of IR1. So how this amplification, this is the amplification factor 100. How this amplification occur? Because of the transfer of the resistance. In the input side, we have small resistance, but at the output side, we have large resistance. So this is just a brief idea of your third type of, you can say, the biasing, that is input junction is forward and the output is reverse bias. And we have sometimes here forward active region, name given to this one also. So we also call this as the active region, sometimes as forward active region or as normal active region. So these are the different names given to this. Then last one, that is fourth one, is that is what we are going to do here. We are going to forward. Yes, we are going to make our emitter as reverse bias now and our collector as the forward bias. So what is going to happen now? This is also important. Look here, I will discuss this in the P and P case because my diagram is full over here. So now what we are going to do, we are going to reverse bias this part. So whenever we are going to reverse bias, so the depletion width will increase over here. And we are going to forward bias our collector, so the width will be small in this region. But due to the high depletion region at the emitter base junction, the holes over here in the P type, we have holes. The holes can't cross this region. So it means this emitter is now not capable of giving the carriers or the majority carriers. In the PNP, we have the emitter जनरेट करेगा, देगा, एमिट करेगा, वो होल्स होंगे। सो वो होल्स अब हमारे आगे पहुंच ही नहीं पा रहे। इट मीन्स नो करंट विल फ्लो ओवर हेयर, कोई करंट आपका फ्लो नहीं होगा, और यू विल से दैट वेरी स्मॉल करंट विल फ्लो। देन एट द रिवर्स वाइज यू विल सी, जो थोड़े बहुत आपके माइनॉरिटी कैरियर्स यहाँ पे पहुंचे थे, वही आपके यहाँ पे जो है वो क्रॉस कर पाएंगे। बट ओवर हियर इट इज फॉरवर्ड बायस। फॉरवर्ड बायस में आपके जो मेजोरिटी कैरियर्स होंगे, एन में आपके मेजोरिटी कैरियर्स थे इलेक्ट्रॉन्स, वो आपके क्रॉस कर जाएंगे। यहां से भी माइनॉरिटी कैरियर्स कौन से आए, रिवर्स बाइसिंग में। इस ये थी आपकी रिवर्स बाइसिंग। रिवर्स बाइसिंग में इलेक्ट्रॉन्स आपके थे पी साइड में, माइनॉरिटी कैरियर्स वो क्रॉस कर गए, यहाँ पर पहुंच गए। एन में पहुंचने पर आपको यहाँ पे रिवर्स फॉरवर्ड बाइसिंग मिल रही है। एन में आपके पास फॉरवर्ड बाइसिंग का मतलब है कि मेजोरिटी कैरियर्स क्रॉस करेंगे, तो मेजोरिटी कैरियर्स इलेक्ट्रॉन्स ही होते हैं एन में, तो आपके यहाँ पर इलेक्ट्रॉन्स जो है वो पहुंच जाएंगे। बट कौन से इलेक्ट्रॉन्स पहुंचे यहाँ पर, जो, या ये कहूँ कौन से कैरियर्स पहुंचे, जो माइनॉरिटी कैरियर्स थे। मेजोरिटी कैरियर्स नहीं पहुंचे एमीटर जंक्शन के। अगर मेजोरिटी कैरियर्स पहुंचते, यहाँ पर माइनॉरिटी कैरियर्स क्रॉस कर रहे हैं, अगर मेजोरिटी कैरियर्स क्रॉस करते तो वो कौन सा वाला होता आपका, ये वाला पार्ट होता जिसमें आपके पास एम्पलीफिकेशन मिलती है। यहाँ पर हमने देखो कहा था कि जो पी टाइप में है वो मेजोरिटी कैरियर्स हैं, सॉरी एन टाइप में आपके मेजोरिटी कैरियर्स इलेक्ट्रॉन्स हैं, तो इलेक्ट्रॉन्स जा रहे हैं। वेयर यहाँ पर आपके पास पी टाइप में होल्स नहीं जा रहे, यहाँ पे कौन से जा रहे हैं, इलेक्ट्रॉन्स जा रहे हैं। इट मीन्स माइनॉरिटी कैरियर्स जा रहे हैं। सो इन माइनॉरिटी कैरियर्स के कारण बहुत स्मॉल एम्पलीफिकेशन हमें मिलती है, और वी कैन से हियर दैट दिस इज opposite to our active region, sometimes called as reverse active region. Reverse active region. And over here definitely our gain is very small, and due to this very small gain it is not commonly used, we don't use it, not commonly used. What we use commonly, we make use of these other three biasings, that is both forward bias, both reverse bias. In this case we are making this transistor to act as a switch, and in the second case we are making this very common one transistor. We mostly use this transistor for the amplification purpose. So when we do the forward biasing at the emitter junction and the reverse biasing at the collector junction, the reverse biasing, the active region will be there. This state is called as the amplification state because of the transfer of the